It's Tuesday, March 21st, 2023. Let's talk about the news. From The Guardian, South Korea U-turns on 69-hour working week after youth backlash. Following protests by mostly young people, the South Korean government has decided to reconsider a planned increase in allowable weekly working hours from the current 52 hours per week to a planned 69 hours per week. The increase was meant to help businesses make up productivity shortfalls by allowing them to increase the number of hours per week they can legally ask their employees to work. But young people, who again are already working up to 52 hours per week, have complained that this would de facto require people work longer hours if they want to be competitive in the job market, and would amplify existing demographic issues like the country's flagging birth rate, which those opposed to the proposal say would just get worse if people were working 17 more hours per week. Also worth noting here is that many other wealthy economies are going in the opposite direction right now, like the UK, which recently completed a 4-day workweek trial, finding that requiring fewer work hours each week increased productivity and worker-reported happiness and health. From Axios, window for limiting global warming is closing, says new UN report. The final installment of the 6th Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or IPCC report, has been published, and the UN-sponsored assessment indicates that by the time the next report is published, in 5 to 7 years, it will be too late for the world to meet its Paris Agreement target of limiting global average warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius, and possibly even the next step ceiling of a 2 degrees Celsius increase. That's a pretty dire pronouncement, but it's not a surprise to anyone who's read the findings of the previous reports. And the big takeaway here is that although we are making progress on an array of climate-related things, that progress is not happening fast enough, and industrialized countries that are responsible for the lion's share of global emissions really need to get to net zero as quickly as possible. Ideally tomorrow, but that being infeasible, the UN Secretary General is suggesting they shift their 2050 goals to 2040 instead. That suggestion will almost certainly fall on deaf ears, as the political effort required to implement what is in place currently has been superhuman, though there's still a chance that some governments will up their game in this way, and others might be able to make incremental differences as well. And from the Associated Press, 43,000 estimated dead in Somalia drought last year. A new report from the World Health Organization, the United Nations Children's Agency, and the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine says that an estimated 43,000 people died as a result of Somalia's longest ever drought last year, and that at least half of those who died were children under 5 years old. The report also says that at least 18,000 and as many as 34,000 more people will likely die in the first 6 months of 2023 because of that same crisis. This drought is hitting Somalia, Ethiopia, and Kenya particularly hard, and its impacts have been made more severe by food price fluctuations caused by Russia's invasion of Ukraine and local conflicts with jihadist militants. More than 6 million people are critically hungry in Somalia alone right now, and more than 30% of the country's children are acutely malnourished. If you're finding some value in One Sentence News, consider leaving a quick review wherever you get your podcasts and/or sharing the show with a friend. You can find out more about this show or subscribe to the email version at onesentencenews.com. And you can support this and other related projects, like the Let's Know Things and Brain Lenses podcasts, at understandery.com.